Howdy all, it's Meadow back with more broadcasting action with round 10 of RaceOnOz's Supercars Next Generation Series. Let's get right into the live scenes where the drivers are currently in preparation for the upcoming finale round. This is the Supercars Next Generation Bathurst 250. So pretty much between the top four contending teams, it is all the play for tonight, and basically winner takes all. So we'll go through the round details here. Round 10, Bathurst 250. It's the endurance event for this series, and once again it's also the finale round, so it's going to be quite a heated affair between the top four teams battling for the title tonight. It's a 41 lap race, and in race time will be 12 p.m. with fine weather, so should be quite a varied pit strategies going on out in the entirety of the field. And here is how the standings are shaping up heading into this round. So I'll just quickly get this on my phone so I can get a better picture. So here we go at the top. It is the number 64 Sonova Beach racing on 354 points with a 12-point advantage over the number 42 Redback Racing car. Then in P3, we've got the number 23 Extreme Motorsports on 334. And then last of our top four championship contending teams, the number 464 Sonova Beach racing on 310. But pretty much they need every team. They're pretty much DNF it. Otherwise, it's done and dusted from the start. Go down P5. Number 28 for Outlaw Motorsport, 292. And for Rookie Racing, the 00, also on 292. So it's quite a heated championship battle for the best of the rest title there. In P7, we've got the number 75 Cat Lexus Racing, 46 of Sonova Beach Racing. Not contending for the title tonight like the other two team cars, but looking to go up the standings right there. Number 54 Botto Racing Team in P9, 276. Then rounding out your top 10, the number 11 PBH Lexus Racing. We go further down, 32 Ian Sestina Racing in P11. Filler Racing Team, number 56 in P12. Roulette Racing, number 52 in P13. For Apex Racing, we've got the number 14 Number 69, Makuzi Racing International. And P16, we've got the number 9, Apex Racing as well. So we'll go to how the drivers' points are shaping up. So just got to keep in mind the car wins the championship, not the driver. So the top place driver currently is Saturn on 342, and he will be driving the number 64 Sonova Beach racing car. So he will be contending with that car for the championship tonight. P2, we have got Extreme on 334 points there. And then in P3, we have an equal on points between these two drivers in GT King and Hatfield. So there's plenty to play for tonight. Let's see our entry list is shaping up. So for the number 32 Enos Sustina Racing, we've got Captain Risky. For the 64 Sonova Beach Racing, like I said, it's Hatfield driving that one. 464 Sonova Beach Racing, we've got GT King. And for the number 46 Sonova Beach Racing, we've got MO driving out of that garage there. Number 42 Redback Racing, we have got Saturn. And then for the number 3 Sonova Beach Racing, we've got Apex. For number 14 Apex Racing Team, we've got Little Blacko, unfortunately can't make it tonight. Then for Makosi Racing International, we got GT. And for Outlaw Motorsport, we got Max Gassett. Bottle Racing Team, we got... Just trying to get a better view of it. Sorry about that. Now we got Pat for the Bolo Racing Team. Then we got Feckles for Royal Let Racing. For Lexus Racing, we've got the understudy. For PBH Lexus Racing, we've got Incy. For Rookie Racing, we got Penguin. Filler Racing Team, we've got Viper Z. And then Extreme for Extreme Motorsports there. So that's your official entry list tonight. So the guys will be going through their driver briefing, awaiting the 15-minute qualifying session that's to come up in a few moments' time. So don't go anywhere. We got plenty of action to come. I think this might be it. Just quickly have a look. What session are we in? So practice is currently taking place. We're going to see who the form drivers in this practice session are so far. So we're just going to quickly bring up the live timing. As we see on screen, a 2:07 from Nax there. So it's quite a competitive time to go further down. That was the last lap, so where's our best lap times here? So everyone else just getting up the speed here. So hopefully my headset's working tonight. It should do. So we're currently on board with Apex, driving the number 64 Sonova Beach racing car. It's a 4-car garage right there. As for Apex, he'll be looking to assist his team in securing that title at the top tonight. So it might be a little bit of sacrificial lamb type stuff. We go back to 2019, Bathurst 1000, Coulthard playing sacrificial lamb for Scott McLaughlin. Will we see something similar tonight? We'll wait and see. So I think, yeah, everyone's pretty much done with their practice laps. I reckon it's just the driver's briefing going on right now. So we'll go on board with Captain Risky here. He's just slotted right in behind Emo, who had quite fine form at last round out. You see the amount of commitment up on the top of the hill for these guys. A lot of the inside curb scrapes the outside wall there. Heading into McPhillamy Park now. Down into the S's. You've got to try to dance the car around here as he's been doing so right now by Emo. Ahead. Oh. At the dipper, you get your car up on 2 wheels. Very hard to get on the throttle. Now down the Forest Elbow, the car doesn't want to turn here. So you've got to slow it right down and get onto the throttle as soon as you see that exit wall. Slotted right in behind here. Emo. Captain Risky just getting a little bit of a slipstream going on here. So he should be able to get right past Emo at the end of the chase. A lot of inside curb. Very unsettled under brakes. Got it pulled up though. So good car control from Captain Risky there. You got Emo on the background Just trying to see if he can regain that pace. Go out sideways, but Captain Risky out of turn 23, Murray's corner. Now, what was that last lap for him? That's put him P2, a 2 minute flat there pretty much. 2 minute 0.7, so 2 minute 0.6 for Nax. Incy on a 2 minute 1.3. So the top three separated by half a second, so extremely close at the top. Get that off screen. We'll just quickly have a suss at how Incy's going on here up Mountain Straight now. So he's looking very racy right here in Incy. So you got Emma and Captain Risky up ahead. I'm not sure who's in behind him. That's Pat G. That's one of the other Sonova Beach racing cars in behind of... I'm not sure who that was back there. I think it was King. As for Incy, it's going to be an all-out attack lap just to see where he stands in comparison to the front runners here. Using every bit of road up on top of the mountain. These guys are going to have to do it for 41 laps straight in the race, and it's going to be very difficult. 250 kilometre distance, fatigue and pit strategy going to play a factor in the result tonight. It's going to be very unpredictable round this one. But as for the top four contending teams, no doubt those guys are going to want to come out with the race win. But we could see an upset tonight as well, being the longest of the rounds here. 250 kilometres. It's going to be a very long night for these guys in Incy. It looks to be very racy in this practice session here. Wait and see if he can convert it over to qualifying and race pace. Currently sitting P3 in this practice session. Got Pat G in behind. He's sitting in P5. A lot is it inside curb at the end of the chase for Incy there. Just trying to get his car slowed down to the absolute maximum through the mid corner. He's coming in the pit lane. Maybe a practice pit stop here. Got a car off in pit lane as well. So we'll go further up. We'll go on board with Max Gasser. He had a very good outing last time out for the SB Tools car. So let's see how the standings are shaping up now. So the lap times have started to die off there. So that obviously qualifying pace, that 2 minute 0.6 from Max. Captain Risky with a 2 minute 0.7. So the top two separated by 6.5 100ths of a second. Then you go further back, 4 100ths of a second down is Pat G behind Captain Risky. So extremely close between the top five guys. We're on board with Max Gasser at this stage. Like I mentioned before, very good outing last round. He'll be looking to continue his good running of form since the last round. Incy's not a very great strategist. Yeah, I'm not sure who's great at what at this stage. We'll wait and see what happens here. It's really going to put everyone off tonight. Strategy is going to... it's going to be an educated guess, really. It depends on, what sort of track position you have, what sort of tyre condition, what sort of fuel numbers you have to contend with as well. So it's definitely going to be something that is going to be on the driver's mind pretty much the whole time. When is my next pit stop going to come up? Should I pit in early? Should I pit in later? Should I try and run these tyres a lot longer than I have to? That's going to be something that determines the outcome of the race tonight. I don't reckon you're going to have to be extremely quick to win tonight's round. You're going to have to be a very good strategist and have good outright pace in the race as well. Just enough to really contend for the top spots here. So last lap for Max was a 2 minute 1.6. So that's actually a decent time, and that's his fastest time. So he's in the top five, and he's just under a second away from Max, who's currently got the fastest lap in the session so far. Penguin currently sitting in P6, coming at the end of the chase now, very deep under brakes. We'll go on board here. You see the amount of work on the steering wheel there, going up the gears now as we head into Murray's. Brake at the 100 or just past 75 metre mark. A lot of inside curb, a lot of rear end action going on there. Viper Z has put a new livery on for tonight. I'm going to have a suss of that. So what was that last time with Penguin? That was a 2:02.3. It's not his quickest time of the session, but it looks as though he's got very good pace. Just going to try suss up Viper Z. There he is. So we got the Cobra look for Viper Z. Just trying to get a suss on the side panels and all that to see what we got going on here. The pony. I love that livery. I'm a massive Ford fan. I hope Viper Z takes it out tonight. Nah, jokes. I'm not going to have any favouritism here, but just so everyone knows, I'm a Ford man and I really love that livery. We're on board with Mo. Currently sitting in P11. So he's got Pat G up ahead. So just clicking at 275 kilometres an hour, very deep on the brakes. You want to try bend the brake pedal as much as you can at the end of the conrod heading into the chase. It's going to be a matter of who can show the most commitment as well tonight. Deep on the brakes at the end of the chase. There's going to be a lot of overtaking opportunities being made there tonight. We've got a yellow flag somewhere. We've got the flaggies out and about here. I'm not sure what's going on. And as for Mo, that last lap was a 2:02.4, so everyone's separated by just under 1.5 seconds here at Bathurst. So that is quite close. Just quickly have a suss. We're on board with Saturn here for Redback Racing. He will be driving for one of the team contending cars tonight. So big weight on his shoulders to get the necessary result required to win the championship for his team tonight. So currently, Redback Racing sitting 12 points down from Sonova Beach Racing at the top. So Saturn needs to win the race if their team is to win. And just having a quick look at how the points are structured. I think Sonova Racing number 64 has to finish 5th or less if Saturn is to win tonight. So pretty much the contenders down from Sonova Racing, they pretty much have to have stuff go their way tonight. That's probably not the way you want to enter the round. You want to enter being the hunted rather than the hunter. The understudy currently sitting in P13. Looks as though you're going to park it up. Max with awesome pace so far. What was his last time out? A 2-minute 0.4. So he's went even quicker at the top. So he's really blazing away in P1 here. We have a quick look down. Captain Risky last lap was a 2:02.8. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Different variation and different simulations here. Quali sims, race sims. Everything's going on in this practice session. So Captain Risky in P2. We've got Pat G in P3. So we'll stay on board with him. He's driving for the Bollo Racing team. And he had very good pace last week as well, but is in qualifying, but it dropped off a little bit in the race. So he'll be looking for better race pace tonight. Considering it's longer distance, strategy play could get him over the line as well. He'll be one of our red hot favourites to challenge for the race win tonight, Pat G. You see him really attack up the top of the mountain here, just like everyone else. But this is risk versus reward here, the S's. This is the most crucial part of the circuit, in my opinion. If you take the dipper a bit too hot, you're going to sacrifice a little bit of time through that mid corner there. It's going to be a lot longer to get on the throttle as well. So the driver's just going to try slow it up in time, come the dipper as well. You get your car up on the two wheels at the dipper. So I'm really still trying to get used to these camera views for this broadcasting on GT Sport. We'll get that out of the way. So Pat G at the end of the chase now. A lot is inside curve at the end of the chase. Pat's very good. Yeah, times are really showing that. Let's see what is it. Oh, massive sideway motion coming out of Murray's. Just got it on the outside curve a little bit and took a little bit too much gentle, but Pat G going P1 with that time out of nowhere. That time was a 2-minute 4, 2-minute point 4, separated by 3.5 100ths the top two. We go further back, the top three are separated by 1.5 tenths. This is unreal here at Mount Panorama. We've got MC and P4, Viper Z rounding out your top five in that lovely Mustang livery. The pony is making the return here. So 2-minute 1.4 from him. GT King in P6, Max in P7, MO in P8, Extreme in P9, Apex in P10. We've got Penguin, the understudy in Saturn. Round out the 13 car grid here for practice for the next generation Supercars series. Hosted by RaceOnOz's. This is round 10, the finale round. Don't go anywhere. We got 15 minutes qualifying session coming up right after this. So race will begin in about 4 minutes time, so that will be qualifying. That was actually qualifying. Just not with it here. I thought it did say practice. It does say practice, so maybe. So qualifying is done and dusted. So now the driver's finished right now. That's how the grid will shape up heading into the 41 lap race here at Mount Panorama. So there are your official qualifying results. Just reiterate it. Pat G in P1, Max in P2, Captain Risky in P3. Those top three guys, extreme at times at the top three, all in the 2-minute range there. Go further down with Incy, 2-minute 1.2, 2-minute 1.4 from Viper Z. So we're just going to have a quick look at the sector splits here. So Pat G has actually taken 2 out of the 4 sectors. On that last lap there. So Pat and Nat are mates and strong rivals. And that's going to be a very good showing tonight, no doubt. Pat G, Nax will round out row 1. So it's going to be quite a heated affair heading off into turn 1 at Hell Corner. So thanks for the insight, Famous Eccles. Very good to give me a bit of info in the scenes here. So we'll be starting in a couple minutes time. So we'll just reiterate what's to come in the championship scenario. Just get that up. So here we go. This is our championship scenario. The top 4 teams are all in contention for the championship tonight, essentially. Oh, Sonova Beach Racing, number 64, really just have to finish in the top 5 and they'll come out as team champions. But for 42, Redback Racing must win the race, must get 5th or worse for the number 64, Sonova Beach Racing. As for the guys behind, 23 for Extreme Racing. In Extreme Racing in that car, he must win and hope that something bad happens to the number 64 car. The top 2 are realistically your red hot contenders tonight. We have 4 contenders heading in, four mathematical contenders. So there's that livery from Viper Z there. So Eccles, yeah, you're in last round, so hopefully you get a good result for your team then, mate. I know, no doubt you'll be cheering for him. So we've got the flag, he's waving the yellow flag. So we're not too far off here for the 250 kilometre, 41 lap race here at Bathurst Mount Panorama for the Supercars Next Generation Series, hosted by Race on Oz. This is the finale round. It's going to be a ripper. So amazing Ford all the way. Good to see you're a Ford man, mate. And we got Awesome Gaming, someone awesome cheering on Penguin, and we got Titan also cheering on Penguin from YouTube land. So a lot of fans for our man JJ Penguin. Now you can see him on screen there. He'll be starting this race in P12 for Rookie Racing. So, 00 Rookie Racing, JJ Penguin. Here we go. The race is about to start in a few moments' time. So get ready, sit back and crack open a cold one. We got a 250 kilometre enduro coming right up. Finale round here. We'll be able to crown a team champion at the end of this race. It's going to be a very unpredictable outcome tonight. But here is how the grid will shape up. You can see it on screen now. Pat G, Nax will take out row 1. Captain Risky, MC row 2. Viper Z, GT King row 3. We've got Max Mo rounding out row 4. So we're just awaiting those green lights. So here we go. Revs are rising here at Mount Panorama. And we go green for round 10 of the Supercars Next Generation Series. A nice start from Pat G. He's going to be quite comfortable heading into turn 1. 3 wide behind him as he gets up to P2. Captain Risky for P3. Nax has been relegated back to P4 off the front row. Then we got Viper Z rounding out your top 5. We'll go further back. There's a gap starting to expand here. So GT King under pressure from Max. He's trying to send it down the inside up at Griffiths. Is he going to get him under brakes? No, he's not. He just has to defend from, I think, Penguin in the background there. So no, that's not Penguin. That's Mo in the background for Sonova Beach Racing. So Max in the SP Tools car, really under pressure now in P7. He's going to train the cars in behind him. That gap in front of him is starting to extend out now. So we're only halfway through lap 1. We're just up on top of the mountain now. And it's Pat G extending that lead out to a bit over 1 second now. Over Incy in P2, who's under pressure from Captain Risky in P3. So here we go down in the S's for the first time. Incy really checking everyone up through the dipper there. Right on the rear bumper of one another, the top 5. Pretty much line of stern of one another as we head in to the elbow. Now Pat G seems as though he's lost a little bit of time down at the S's. So the top 3 drivers are pretty much separated by 1.5 tenths of a second now. We got Nax, who started on the front row. He's trying to chase down Captain Risky. We go down Conrod straight now. Is he going to take the look to take a move down the end of Conrod? No, he's not. So Nax going to go at the end of the chase now. Not able to get him under brakes either. And now all of a sudden he's under pressure from Viper Z in that iconic looking Ford Mustang livery there. So this is the end of lap 1. 40 to come right here at Mount Panorama. So early stages, we still got little battles starting to heat up already. We got battle for P6, Max and Mo Extreme there. And we've got Penguin and P9. So for the fans of Penguin on the streaming software of YouTube, your man is sitting P9 under pressure from GT King on the outside as we head up Mountain Straight right now. Apex in behind as well. So 2 Sonova Beach Racing cars in behind Penguin for Rookie Racing. This is quite a nice battle going on here between the final spots in the top 10. Penguin under a lot of pressure. He's having to go to the defensive line, down the inside, up at the cutting. He's just lost out there. GT King going to get him on the outside. As we head up the Reed Park, they almost make contact there, and they do, but they're lucky to keep it on track, the both of them. We got the understudy tracking in P12 back there, right there. So he's just in the background now. He's starting to play himself into this pack. We got Saturn and P13 for Redback Racing. So we'll go back to the front. Pat G extending that gap out once again. So it's just clicking over 1 second by the looks of it visually. And Captain Risky's made that move up in the P2. So he's got past Incy. That's going to be a race-defining moment for him. We go side by side down Conrad. It looks as though Incy's going to get the upper hand once again up in the P2. Bit of the side draft advantage. Gets him up into the second spot here. Where has Nax gone? Because Viper Z is up in the P4 now. So Max is up in the P5, ML on P7, Extreme in P7, Nax all the way back in P8. So he must have made a huge mistake. That's cost him a whole lot of time. And he's drifting off in the pit lane as well. So I'm not sure if this is going to be an unscheduled pit stop for Nax. It's quite early on in this race, only lap 2 of 41, and we've already got a driver in the pits. So GT King currently sitting P9, ahead of him Apex, behind him JJ Penguin, who's under pressure from the understudy behind as we head up the mountain again. So Penguin going the defensive line, heading into Griffins. He should be able to hold off. He just lets off the throttle there, lets the understudy right past. Just wants to play himself into the later stage of this one. We'll go further up. Max, rounding out your top 5. He's got a decent gap in front of him and behind him. So he should be able to make the most of that and try to catch up to the rear bumper of 4th place Viper Z. So he's about a couple hundred metres up the road. You see, Max was just in the picture a few moments ago. So Viper Z, he's trying to catch up to the rear of the podium. So Captain Risky currently on the rear in P3. Then you got Incy in P2. Pat G really blazing ahead in P1. And these two guys haven't stopped this battle since the start of this race. So here we go. Is Captain Risky going to be able to get the slipstream to get right past Incy at the end of Conrad? I don't think he's up far enough to do so. So yeah, Max may have got heavy damage here, and that may have been the reason why he's drifted off into the pits, because he was sitting in P4 and he lost a whole bunch of time. Captain Risky trying to get it out. A lot more traction than Incy out of Murray's corner there. So I might get some more info up on screen. So that might be a lot better to go with. So we've got the leaderboard on the side. So Pat G, he's got a 1.7 second lead over Incy in P2. We've got Captain Risky, who's 2 seconds off the lead, right behind Incy. We've got the iconic livery of Viper Z in the background and the Ford Mustang. Now it's fastest lap currently held by Incy with a 2-minute 1.5. Now Nax is all the way down in P12. He's right on the rear bumper of Saturn. So Nax should be able to carve through the field with the pace he had in practice and qualifying. So next up for him, Saturn in P11. We'll stay on board here for the time being. It's going to be a charge of a champion, I reckon. So here we go. Nax with the better tyre condition coming out the pits. He's trying to get an overlap as we head into McPhillamy, but there's no space there to do it. Now we go down into the S's, a one-line groove. Saturn taking a little bit too much inside curve down the S's. Now Nax is trying to get him on the outside as we head into the elbow now. Sat really on the defensive line. So Nax has really been caught out. Heading down the mountain here, heading into the elbow, down Conrod. Nax should be able to get the slipstream required to get past him. A little bit of a bump draft, side draft going on here. And he gets up in the P11, so easy move made by Nax. So he's really on a charge now to regain that lost ground to the front. Now here we go to battle for P2. A 2-minute 1 flat for Incy last lap, but Pat G currently holds the fastest lap of the race now at the end of lap 4 with a 2-minute 0.8. So he's 2.5 tenths faster than the next car behind him in Incy. So as for Pat G, you'd hope he's not really tuning into those tyres with these blistering lap times at this stage. You can really hear the tyres squealing now. They're really crying hurt right now. We might see a few of the guys come in for a pit stop just to get on a new set of tyres, a new set of rubber to really put an attack at it. As for Captain Risky, he's been right in behind Incy for the past 5 laps. A strategy play from him might have to come into effect. So it looks as though he's a lot faster than Incy at this stage and he wants to get past him. We head into McPhillamy. It's just a run line groove up here. So Captain Risky can't do anything about getting ahead of Incy at this stage. He's just going to have to wait until we get down to Conrod. It's going to be his best opportunity to do so. Incy taking a lot of the outside wall with him at the end of the dipper there. Now Captain Risky, this is his prime opportunity to get past Incy on this lap. So is he going to do it? We'll wait and see. Just trying to get Captain Risky in picture now. So is Incy going to go defensive? Captain Risky's going to go down the outside of the chase and he's got the move done. So deep on the brakes at the end of the chase now. Is Incy going to make an attack? No, he's not. So he's just let out the throttle a little bit. So he's extended that gap between those two. So none of these front running guys decide to drift off in the pit lane. So as for Incy, a little bit unsettled out of Murray's. Took a little bit too much curb with a little bit too much mid corner speed. So fastest lap still held by Pat G, and that hasn't gone any faster on the last time round. We'll actually quickly have a look at the last lap comparison. So Pat G with a 2-minute 2.3, 2-minute 1.3 from Captain Risky. So like I said before, Captain Risky was a lot faster than Incy on the previous lap. And now he's really starting to make inroads on Pat G. As you can see visually, he's made a little bit of ground on the first sector alone here at Mount Panorama on lap 6. So we'll go further back. Let's see how everyone's tracking. Incy in P3. Viper Z still tracking well in P4. We got Max in P5 under a lot of pressure from Mo and Extreme. 3-car battle for P5. This is our most heated battle pack so far. Up on the top of the mountain, one line groove. So all of these guys just got to follow each other from here on in. Now just trying to see what sort of fuel numbers we got going on. So fuel consumption is ×3, so the guys should be reasonably low on fuel. And that means a pit stop will be required in the next couple of laps or so. As Max extended that gap out from P6 of Mo. So now Mo under a lot of pressure from Extreme down Conrod now. And Mo is driving the championship contending car at the top. I think he is anyway. No, he's not. It's number 64. But Mo gets past Max out of nowhere. That's how strong the slipstream is in GT Sport. So Mo made easy prey of Max there. And we've got a driver coming in, that's Extreme there. So Pat G, he's lost a little bit of ground here on the couple of laps previous to Captain Risky. So we're on lap 7 of 41. We're still in the early stages here, and we're starting to see the pit stops roll out now. So Nax gets the fastest lap of the race, a 2-minute 0.6. Now, where is he tracking? Currently sitting in P7. And he's right amongst this battle pack here. So next in line for him is Max, who lost the position just a lap ago. So Max might be a little bit unsettled at this stage. He might be trying to get back into the groove now. He's right on the rear bumper. Nax really pressuring Max here. It's going to be an all-out attack from Nax. He had very extraordinary pace in qualifying, but he can't do it up on top of the mountain. There's only a one-line groove. He's trying to make a move down, heading into the S's, but he's not able to get Max under brakes. He's really giving a bit of a nudge on the rear end of Max now. He's just letting him know he's there and he wants to get past. Is he going to do it at the elbow? This is the best opportunity to do so, but Max holds off on the inside lane. Now Max is just going to hold off down Conrod, but the slipstream very strong, so Max should be able to get past. He's right on the rear bumper. Max going defensive down Conrod. We go side by side, heading into the chase. Who's going to get the better of one another? Max has got the inside, and he should be able to hold off now under brakes. Does Max try to make it a late dive here? No, he doesn't. So he's just going to take that on the arse there. So we've got another driver drifting off. Just trying to see who's coming into the pits. So we got Max coming in on the medium. So that's probably why he's really battling in that mid-pack, because everyone else around him is on the soft compound. So he's done a very good job to really battle with those guys on the soft compound. He comes out on the softs and he joins P11 on track. So just behind the understudy, but on fresher rubber than the understudy. So he should be able to get past on this outlap and move up into the top 10. We'll go further up. Emo, he's got a decent gap extending from P6 of Nax. Apex in P7, so this is the battle for P7. We've got P8, P9 in behind of GT King and Extreme. So two Sonova Beach Racing cars. The number 64 championship leading car all the way back in P7. Driver of that car in Apex. So at this stage for Redback Racing, those guys looking to have the better of the scenario tonight so far. But Redback Racing, Saturn all the way back in P13. So that championship scenario not looking good for the number 42 of Redback Racing. That team sitting second in the championship. The one that they're contending the championship for, driven by Apex for Sonova Beach Racing, number 64. They got a 6 position advantage over their closest rivals. So Apex just getting the job done tonight so far. Max down the inside of Emo at the end of Conrod. Can he get it done? Heading into the chase. It's the deepest braking zone of the circuit. Trying to get an overlap down the inside. Maybe a little bit of a love tap through the mid-corner there, but Emo holds on. It's a wonderful racecraft from these guys so far. Max, did he give a little bit of a nudge to Emo? I reckon he has. Emo's gone out wide at Murray's. And I reckon Max is just going to redress that. So Max just trying to get out of the way, trying to redress that. I reckon he gave a little bit of a rear nudge. But he's just tracking ahead now. He's under a lot of pressure from Extreme in behind. Extreme, he's going to try and make a move up into Griffins. He gets it done before so. Here we go. Now where's Emo gone to? So he's been relegated back to P10 after that moment out of Murray's on the previous lap. So this mid-pack battle really starting to heat up. We'll go further up just to see how our front runners are tracking. Pat G 1.8 seconds ahead of Incy, who's got past Captain Risky, who currently sits in P3. So the top 3 guys separated by 6.5 seconds. Currently Incy trying to hold off from Captain Risky at the elbow. Now we head down Conrod once again. It's really a game of cat and mouse down Conrod. If you're the car in front, you just got to hope for the best that they don't get enough of the slipstream to get past you at the end of the chase. But in the case of Captain Risky, he might be able to make the move under brakes here. No, Incy holds off. So still current fastest lap in favour of Max with a 2:06. So Captain Risky and Incy going toe to toe here on lap 10. They've been going battle for the entirety of this race so far. You can see those lap times starting to die off. 1.2 seconds off the fastest race lap respectively for these two guys. Captain Risky really feeling the pressure on the tyres now. But these two guys behind Pat G are really starting to play themselves into this race winning scenario. Realistically, you just have to be there in the closing 10 or so laps of the race. And that's when you can really start to try and make inroads. Just going to have a suss of the last laps. Pat G with a 2:17, 2:16 from Incy. So Incy, the driver behind Pat G, is faster than Pat G at this stage. Captain Risky with a 2:02.3, 2:02.7 from Viper Z, and a 2:04.8 from Extreme is your top five. So lap times through the mid-pack, just a little bit over the place at the moment. Apex with a 2:10.9. I'm not sure what's happened on the previous lap. A 2:14.7 from Emo. But that would have been because of that wide moment out of Murray's. So here we go. Captain Risky on the rear bumper of Incy going toe-to-toe down Conrod. Who's going to get the better of one another? Captain Risky trying to get him on the brakes. Not able to do so. Incy committed to being the last to break, heading into the end of the chase there. And here we go, Captain Risky drifting off in the pit lane. Our race leader, Pat G, also does the same. So both coming in on the soft compound. Let's see what they come out on. Viper Z also in pit lane. So they both come out on the soft. Captain Risky, what's happened here? I'm not sure what's happened to Captain Risky because he's all over the grass now. What's happened here? So Captain Risky's left the room. I'm not sure what happened there. So Incy in P1, he's the first of the drivers not to have pitted in yet. So guys behind Pat G, Viper Z, those guys have made their pit stops. Oh, there we go. Tyre usage. So we go Extreme and the understudy. They're on older tyres. I didn't know that. I'm really still trying to learn this broadcasting feature. And that's Apex gone around the outside. Down heading into the S's on Penguin. So Penguin would really be kicking himself. Giving an easy overtake there for Apex. The understudy up in P5. Go further down just to see how this tyre scenario is tracking. So I reckon a lot of the guys that have degraded tyres here, Incy, went way too deep under brakes there by the looks of it. And he's just let Pat G right past him now. So Pat G is going to have a massive advantage up ahead. And Incy going out wide on entry to pit lane as well. So that could be winning stuff there. Race-defining winning stuff there. I don't know how Incy's going to catch up. He's just going to have to be extremely faster than Pat G now from here on in. He's just going to have to pump out quality laps. As for Pat G, he's in a very favourable scenario here. Quite a comfortable lead at the top in comparison to the quickest guys in this session so far. Closest rival, Viper Z in P2, 11 seconds down from the lead. So it's quite a hefty advantage at the top. But we still got a bit over 3/4 of the race to go here at Mount Panorama. Trying to experiment here, but you can see the last 11 laps for Viper Z. So his race pace is very good, averaging a 2:02.5. We'll just have a look at Pat G's comparison. So his average is looking to be a high 2:01, so more like a 2:01.9 from Pat G. His average race pace lap time going on here in the early stage. So really starting to extend this advantage at the top. Last lap, a 2:01.6 on the soft compound for Pat G. The understudy. So Incy's come into pit lane. He was on the mediums. He's coming out the softs now. So he just joins ahead of Apex in P5. So this is going to be a very heated affair between these two. Apex driving the championship leading car. So he'd really want to move up in the P4. Just for a bit of insurance in case something happens in the later stage of this one. Incy looks like he's regaining his momentum. Just by extending that gap out between himself and Apex just a little bit at the top of the mountain here. On a newer set of tyres, you can see that right hand side of Apex car starting to degrade a lot more than the left hand side. Quickly track the top guys here. So Extreme, he's 8 seconds down from Viper Z. So the top three pretty much separated by 10 seconds of one another. And then we got Incy and P4 trying to hold off our championship leading car. We've got a blue flag going on here. So who's the blue flag for? Let's quickly have a look. Everyone's on the lead lap, so I'm not sure why we got blue flags. So Pat G just really getting to work in the early stage here on lap 14. We'll just have a quick suss of his last lap. Go this way, a 2:01.9, so 3 tenths slower than the lap before, but his lap time's still up to race winning pace. As for Viper Z, he was slightly slower in comparison to Pat G on the previous lap. 0.2 of a second there. We got Extreme in P3. So this is one of our championship contending cars as well for Extreme Motorsports. So 2 positions ahead of the championship leader in 64 Sonova Beach Racing, driven by Apex in this final round. So provisionally, we're looking at the championship to be sealed within less than 10 points of one another. With the current outcome, Sonova Beach Racing should come home about 10 points clear of the next place car in Extreme Motorsports. Based on the current finishing positions as it stands. But Extreme, he's on an older set of tyres here and they're really degrading fast. We go back to Apex. His tyres aren't as bad as Extreme. Max is really playing himself into this battle as well. He's just been there the whole time. P6, P5. Now he started off on the medium, so he was driving against a bunch of guys that had the faster compound tyres, and he was still getting the upper hand out over each and every one of those guys. So everyone is running the racing softs at this stage. As for Ince, he's trying to make that inroad back to the front of the pack. Next in line for him, Extreme and P3. And he's really putting pedal to the metal throughout this mid stage on lap 15. You can see Apex and Max in behind. And it looks as though Max will soon get right to the rear bumper of Apex in about a lap or two time. And those two will be going battle. But as for Ince, we're keeping a close eye on him to see if he can make the necessary ground up on Extreme in the next couple of laps. Because we're about to enter the crucial stage of this one. You want to try get as far up the field as you can throughout the mid stage to see where you stand competitively. As for Ince, a little bit too much inside curb out of Murray's there once again. 2:02.1 previous lap. Plays a 2:02.3. So 0.2 of a second between these two in Extreme and Ince. And as for Apex, a 2:02.5 plays a 2:01.9. So Max is going to try and take a look up at Griffin's now. And he's up on his best race lap as well. Apex going defensive down the inside. Max is stuck on the outside lane. He's got nothing to do but to hold on. Here we go, up into the cutting now, one line groove. We don't want to do a Murphy and Ambrose here, so Max just slotting him right behind Apex, but Apex looking very unsettled in the rear, out of the cutting there. Max's tyres, they're about the same condition of Apex's, so those guys, equal bits of machinery right there. As for Apex, just trying to extend that lead out once again. Max is looking very racy on these mediocre set of tyres at this stage. They're starting to lose their grip now. Just want to quickly see where Nax is. So Nax is currently in P10. So a really disastrous start to this endurance event for Nax. Started on the front row, now all the way down in P10 on lap 16. He sees himself 45.8 seconds away from Pat G in the lead. But with the race pace going on here, that Nax has got a 2 minute 0.8, 2 minute 0.7, 2 minute 0.6 last 3 laps. So those are your quality type spec laps right there from Nax. Next in line for him is the understudy in P9. So that's the best lap of the race so far, a 2 minute 0.2. Very unsettled out of hell corner there. Took a little bit too much of the outside curve, a little bit too much jam on the throttle. But we'll soon find out where Nax comes out in the later stage here. But Apex for the time being under a lot of pressure from Max once again. You can see Incy really blazing ahead of these two now. He's barely in the picture. And he'll be battling it out with Extreme in a few moments' time. So Apex just keeping it consistent here. Not overdriving the car at this stage. Really got nothing to lose now. Sits in a prime spot to take out the championship for the team. Sitting in P5, a big haul of points there. Championship contenders just barely ahead and barely behind. So a favourable scenario for the 64 Sonova Beach racing car. Under pressure from Max though. What's Max going to do here? Is he going to lurk and try to take a move down the inside at the end of the chase? No, he's not. Low on fuel as well between these two. So they're pretty much on the same strategy here. There you go. Apex is the first to blink out of these two. Probably went way too deep on the brakes heading into the pits. Incy is also in pit lane. So he's pretty much got no fuel left either. He wouldn't have been able to get another lap out of that. But as for Max, he'll be in the next lap now. So we got a general basis of how the fuel numbers are working now. We'll have a quick look at the guys ahead. Viper Z got quite a hefty amount on board, just over a quarter of the tank there. So I'm going to say, based on field numbers, Pat G, he might lose a little bit of time in comparison to Viper Z. Because it's looking to be quite a disparity in their field numbers. I think Viper Z's got a few more laps of fuel on board, so that's really going to be a crucial outcome towards the end of the race. As for Viper Z, has to have a standing stop, a lot less in comparison to Pat G in the pits. So Viper Z could really play himself into the battle for the lead here. As for Extreme, we're looking for him to come into the pits in the next 2 laps now. Tyres really starting to hurt, as we heard a few moments ago with Extreme, and that's the indication to come into the pits. Here we go. I think we've got a couple of the teams in pit lane now as well. We got Max in pit lane. He's on 1 litre of fuel heading in. These guys, what compound will they head out on? So it's going to be a long standing stop for Extreme in the pits. He's got a ton of cars driving right past him, so he goes onto the racing mediums. And I think Max might also do the same. No, so Max stays on the softer compound. And that's Nax rejoining ahead of Max there in P8. So Extreme, by the looks of it, he's the only one on the racing mediums. And he's got a train of cars in behind him. He's got Apex and Saturn right behind his rear bumper. And he's lucky it's only a one-line groove at the top of the mountain. He's really got to try and generate some heat into these racing mediums. That should be able to get at least 10 laps out of him. 10 decent laps. But you can see the disparity between the racing soft and the racing mediums. Extreme really trying to hold on to the rear end of the car. In comparison to the guys behind, they're really thriving under this situation here. What are their tyre wear looking like? So yeah, they're on a set of new racing softs as well. Exception to Saturn, who's got a couple of laps old racing softs there. So Emo's up in the P3, but he'll come into the pits this lap with that fuel number there. So there we go, Emo coming in. Viper Z got a decent amount of fuel on board. So Viper Z might be a dark horse towards the end of this one. It's definitely not a pun with the pony here. But he's looking to really be a dark horse in the later stages. Having the better fuel numbers here. Apex in P3 now, so he's got past Saturn and NC. And Nax is all the way back in P6. But looking to be on a little bit older tyres in comparison to everyone else now. Now, who was on the racing mediums? I think so. Max was on the racing mediums, I think it was. No, it was Incy, one of the two, but they've obviously gone off the set of medium compound. So current fastest lap holder in Nax. We're currently on board with him right now. He's sitting P6 on track. He's got Incy up ahead, a couple 100 metres ahead there. So we head into the elbow. Battle for P4 really starting to heat up ahead. Pat G in the pit lane now with 5 litres coming in. So he's going to have a long standing stop. So Viper Z also comes in to follow the same strategy. So Pat G, he's got to come out with quite a hefty advantage at the top here. Viper Z still in pit lane. So Viper Z still with a slight fuel advantage. So yeah, Pat coming out of the pits. So Viper Z did gain ground under that pit stop. I think it was a couple of seconds he gained there. And he should gain another couple of seconds as well in the next pit stop. We're currently halfway through this race. 250 kilometre round 10 race for the Supercars Next Generation Series hosted by Race on Oz. And here is how your grid is shaping up through the mid stage. It's Pat G who leads this one by 14 seconds over Viper Z in P2. Then it's Apex in P3. Championship leading car, NC in P4. And we've got Nax in P5. Good recovery drive so far from the early stage incident that he had. It's a massive question mark. Obviously got damage in the early stage, which set him back from P4 to P8. Came into the pits on the end of the second lap. We've got Max in P6 here, and then we've got Extreme in P7. We've Extreme Motorsports, one of our championship contending cars as well. MO in P8. We've got Saturn in P9. And we've got GT King rounding out your top 10. The understudy in P11. Under pressure from Penguin in P12. And that's your 12 car field so far. Unfortunately, it said Captain Risky left the race just after his first pit stop, so I'm not sure if that's internet drama. Hopefully all is well. This is a very good battle for P11 here between the understudy and JJ Penguin. So Penguin, based on field numbers and tyre wear, he's really not playing himself into this battle for P11. That's for GT King. He's got a lot of clean air around him, so he should be able to punch out some pretty quick lap times here. His last lap was a 2:02.2. Lap before was a 2:01.8, so that is decent race pace there. I don't know how he's still tracking all the way back in P10. 2:03.2 last lap. Lost a little bit of time in comparison to his previous. We're on board with Saturn. His last lap was definitely not a 1:59.8. 2:21.1. So he's coming to the pits recently. How about Mo? So Mo is also coming to the pits a couple of laps ago on at the end of lap 18. Mo's up on his fastest as well. His best through sector 2. Here we go, heading into the elbow. He's got Extreme and Max up ahead. That's the battle for P6. Extreme and Max are pretty much even here based on their pit strategies. Extreme just getting the benefit of the draft down Conrad. He should be able to look to make a move at the end of the chase. He tries to take a look down the inside. There's no space there, and there's going to be no space at the end of this chase either. So he's just going to have to hold on behind the SB Tools car of Max. So you can see Max's race pace just dying off a little bit. This heated battle going on with Extreme. So he's just going to have to keep a cool head from here on in. Lap 23, he's still got plenty of laps to go to hold on. You're on board with Nax. Currently your fastest race lap holder. He's tracking quite well to get on the back step of the podium. He's got Incy and Apex up ahead. He's really tracking well to get past them. So he's consistently in the 2:01s, which is a really good sight. He's 28 seconds off the lead as well of Pat G. So he's made a lot of ground since the start of lap 3 to lap 23. Currently he's a second down on his fastest lap time as well, and that provisionally puts him in the 2:01s once again. So here we go, Conrad straight. Is Incy going to try and take a look at Apex down Conrad? He's going to get it done quite easily there. Now is Max able to get up into this battle as well? So Apex is going to try to take a look down at the end of the chase here. No, he doesn't. This is really starting to heat up now here at Mount Panorama. Back end of the podium is all to play for. We've got Viper Z 12 seconds ahead of these guys. And then we got Pat G 13 seconds ahead of Viper Z. So we should see one more pit stop and everyone will be filled up to the end. It's going to be a very long standing stop. So our critical lap time will be about lap 28 or lap 29. I'm pretty sure you can extend it out to 12 laps of worth of fuel from a fuel tank. So after that move made from Incy on Apex, he's really got to work in trying to catch up to the rear end of Viper Z, but Pat G with a very commanding lead of 14 seconds over Viper Z. You got pole position Pat G. He's looking to clean sweep the round here. He's still looking for fastest lap as well, which is currently being held by his closest competitive rival in Nax. So those two guys are really going to have a lap shootout battle towards the end, I reckon. Pat G will want to come out with full honours here, I reckon. So I think Pat G added slightly less fuel in comparison to Viper Z, so I reckon it's about a 1.5 lap disparity between the two. But the gap between these two, Pat G and Viper Z, it's really stagnated at that 13.5 second mark. So Viper Z looking to really close in once the pit stops come in. You see the fuel difference there. It does look quite substantial. Seeing if anyone's on the racing mediums at this stage as well, but looks as though everyone's really committed to the racing softs. Bob was sat in P9. He's got a lot of space around him, so he's really just going to get work here. Penguin in P10, but we'll see him in the pits relatively soon. I reckon his strategy's really played himself into the final race as well, because I think he's gone for a late race pit stop just to get him home. So he should be coming in on the critical lap. As for the guys ahead, Apex with half a fuel tank on board. I'm not sure the capacity in these cars. It'll be around about the 100, 120 mark. But our championship leading car all the way back in P8. Let's have a look at our other championship contenders for Extreme Motorsports. Extreme driving that car, number 23. Currently tracking in P5 there. About to move up in the P4 if he can get past Max. So this is going to be a crucial move for championship glory here for Extreme Motorsports. Is Max going to give up the fight here? No, he's not. He's going to go defensive heading into Murray's. So Max isn't making himself an easy target. He's really trying to hold on to position here. You got Emo playing himself into it as well. Go up Mountain Straight now. Can Extreme make a move heading up into Griffins? This will be the next opportunity. No, he can't. Just quickly suss out this gap between Pat G and Viper Z. 14 seconds. So it looks as though Viper Z's time just dying off in comparison to Pat G now. So we got 16 laps to go here at Mount Panorama. And we've still got a massive question mark on the outcome of this championship. I can punch in some numbers now. Just to see what we're up with here. So Max has had a massive moment there. I'm not sure what's happened, but now that puts Extreme up into P4. This is a really critical move here for the outcome of this championship. Incy in P3. Extreme looks to really be a usurper so far in this round. Where is Apex? Currently all the way down in P7, so I'm just trying to get the points difference here between the two finishing positions to see what the outcome will be at this stage. So 379 plays. .379 plays 388. So it's a 9 points difference in favour of the number 64 Sonova Beach Racing over Extreme at this stage. As for Redback Racing, I think they're pretty much down and out at the back in Saturn in P9. So out the championship scenario at this stage. So Extreme realistically has to get past Incy to gain another 4 points. So realistically, Extreme will have to win based on the current finishing position of Apex. Because I think if it goes on countback, Apex and the number 64 of Sonova Racing will win the championship because they'll be on equal points in that case. If Extreme finishes second here. You've got Emo and Nax in behind. These two going battle up the mountain now. Nax is trying to take a look down the inside, heading into Griffin. Should be able to get the move done quite easily here. Emo just negotiating race room here up at Griffin's. He slots in right behind Nax there. So Nax up in the P5, currently our fastest lap race holder. And as for Apex, he's in quite a comfortable mindset right now. Doesn't really have to do too much from here on in, just has to remain in P7, assuming Extreme finishes P2. So Extreme under pressure from Nax now. So Nax is really starting to up the pressure here. Down Conrod. He should be able to get it done before the chase. So Nax got the advantage ever so slightly now, but does Extreme try to take it on the brakes? No. So this is championship defining stuff for Extreme. Losing out one position there is just going to make the job that much harder now. on lap 28 of 41, so we're going to have 13 laps to play on lap 29. Correction, that's 12. Let's quickly go further down the grid. There's Emma on P6, Apex in P7. We've got Saturn in P9 for Redback Racing. We've got Max in P9, so P8 for Saturn. GT King in P10. We've got the understudy in P11. Then Penguin in P12. So everyone's still on the lead lap. Penguin had a massive moment on entry to Murray's there. Just clipped the outside grass and really unsettled on the exit as well. So a 2:04 last time around. Shows you how much Penguin is struggling on that tyre set now. That's for Viper Z. That lead between Pat G is starting to stagnate at 14.5 seconds now. So once these guys come into the pits, then they should be filled up to the end. Assuming they put enough fuel in, that is. So fastest lap still in the hands of Nax with 2 minute 2:02. I think Incy is the first to respond between the front runners for his last pit stop here at Mount Panorama. This is going to be a very long stop to get it filled up to the very end. So a new set of tyres will go on, and that will last to the end of the race. But might have to nurse him home by the looks of it. So 74 litres, and that should be filled to the very end. Now Apex is up into P6, Extreme into P4, under pressure from Emma on P5. So Extreme really trying to win this championship out of nowhere for Extreme Motorsports. Went out wide at McPhillamy there. Doing a Scott McLaughlin. Very unsettled. Down into the S's. Really feeling the pressure behind from Emo going toe to toe. As we enter the elbow, the tyres really squealing. See the field numbers just diminishing for Extreme as well, so we'll see him in the next couple of laps or so. I reckon it might be worth going in now when you're under that much pressure from Emo behind. We've got Pat G and Viper Z coming in. So this is race winning defining stuff here. Pat G exiting pit lane with quite a comfortable lead over Viper Z. When does he exit pit lane? He's still in his pit box here. There we go. Did he make any inroads on Pat G? He did. He made 2 seconds once again at the pit stops. Now Pat G with a slight fill advantage over Viper Z. So if they're not filled up to the end, Pat G would have to save less fuel. We've got Nax in P3, but he's going to have to come in for another fuel stop. He's not going to have enough fuel to the end there. Based on these numbers, he might move back to around the P5, P6 mark. So he'll join this battle between Emo, Incy and Extreme. These guys are all filled up to the end side by side between the guys behind Extreme and Emo and Incy. We've got Saturn playing himself into this battle as well. So this is going to be quite a heated mid-pack battle towards the end of this one. We're on lap 31 of 41, so we just got under 10 laps to go for the final race of the season for the Supercars Next Generation Series. Currently, your provisional champion in Apex for the number 64, Sonova Beach Racing. Got the advantage and got the upper hand over Extreme and the rest of the championship contending teams. Pat G, quite a good performance tonight. Surely comes home with that victory quite comfortably. Going to be one to watch in seasons to come here at Race on Oz in the world of GT Sport. Max goes extremely fast with the fastest lap, 1/10 faster than his previous quickest. So we're just going to have a quick suss of those field numbers. I reckon he might just go for a splash and dash. He might just try to assess how much fuel he needs to get in, because he's chasing the rear bumper of Viper Z up ahead, so he could play himself into the battle for P2 if he plays the cards right here. So this is going to be the battle for P2. Apex battling his championship contending team driver in Extreme behind him in P5. So those two guys 4 seconds adrift from one another, and Apex is going to have to come into the pits. Now Nax right in the rear bumper lurking on Viper Z. See, last lap comparisons are 2:08 plays. That would have been an out lap there, 1:58.8. So no indication of what sort of pace these guys are on in comparison to one another. But I reckon Nax slightly faster than Viper Z on this time around. And they're 6 seconds away from one another now, 0.6 of a second. So we're in the closing stages here. Pat G with a comfortable lead at the top. And there's going to be Viper Z and Nax going battle for P2 here at Mount Panorama. It's Viper Z going to be able to hold on. A lot of inside curb out of Murray's. Trying to get the car rotated. 2:01.7 plays. 2:01.7 plays a 2:05. So Nax extremely quicker than Viper Z now. And Viper Z identifies the situation because he goes defensive up into Griffins. And Nax is on his fastest lap through the first sector now. And he gets the move done up in the P2. So wonderful driving from Nax. He's got quite mediocre set of tyres as well at this stage. Quite degraded. But it's going to have to be a splash and dash for Nax, I reckon. It's not going to make it home. Viper Z will definitely do so. So Extreme needs to win, yes. As for Extreme, he definitely has the advantage in terms of strategy over Apex. But Apex should be able to come out in quite a competitive position here. But looks as though Extreme's best isn't going to be good enough to come out with the championship title for the number 23 Extreme Motorsports car tonight, unless something drastic happens in the closing stages. Extreme really chasing down championship rival Apex ahead. But Apex due to come into the pits in the next lap or so. And it might be this time around, and it is. So Apex drifts off in the pit lane for final pit stop. Just to fill it up to the end. Probably take a new set of tyres as well. There we go. It's going to be a very long pit stop by the looks of it. Now Apex joins out on track in P8, P7 correction. So gets past Saturn out of the pits. Let's quickly look at that scenario. P4 for Extreme, 20 seconds off. Viper Z ahead. So Extreme, yeah, not looking likely to take out the victory tonight. Because we've got less than 7 laps remaining here at Mount Panorama. It's just not enough laps for Extreme to be able to make that ground necessary to take out the win. 30 seconds off the lead, currently held by Pat G, who hasn't made a wrong move all night. As for Nax, be a very good comeback drive here, but gonna have to come into the pits for some fuel. Might be this lap, and it is. So Nax will drift off in the pit lane. So should be chasing the back end of the podium here, Nax, once coming out of the pits. So goes back onto the soft compound. There's a lot of front bumper damage there as well. A lot of grazes on the front bumper. So Nax has really been battling it out with many drivers tonight. The evidence is right there on the front end of the car there. So 7-second advantage over Extreme in P4. Go further down, see what battles we got going on here. Emo and Incy, these guys will be battling it out for P5. Apex back in the P7 now. Saturn versus Max. Let's battle for P8. We've got GT King in P10. A lot of clean air around him. Understudy in P11. And Penguin in P12 here. Almost a lap down. The lead car coming down the S's now of Pat G. Like I said, Pat G never made a wrong move tonight. Just kept it clean all night. Kept the car on the track. He's been keeping it really fast as well. Doesn't need to come out with fastest lap of the race to come out with the victory tonight. Viper Z coming from row 3. He's moved up into P2. It's been a very champion drive from Viper Z. A lot of ground made throughout the entirety of this one. Last lap of 2:01.8. So almost just as quick as Pat G. Pat G last lap was a 2:03.1, so he is just as quick as Pat G at this stage. So that gap, just under 10 seconds now. It's 9 seconds flat between Pat G and Viper Z. But as for Viper Z, doesn't have enough laps to really make an attack. So Viper Z, if he can remain 2 seconds quicker each lap than Pat G, then quite possibly we could see a battle for the lead on the final lap. Viper Z really throwing the car around the mountain here. Got nothing to lose in the championship outcome. So 0.3 of a second off his fastest, which is around the 2:01 mark. Just quickly suss what this last lap was, and then we'll see what we got heating up through the mid-pack. So 2:02.1 plays a 2:02.6. So yeah, based on those numbers, not going to be quick enough to catch up to the rear end. As for Nax, almost replicated his fastest lap on the previous lap. 2:124 plays a 2:123. 1/1000th minute there. Too little too late for Nax as well. Extreme. Going to come out second best tonight in the title race for Extreme Motorsports, number 23. We've got Mo in P5. He's had quite a good outing tonight here at Mount Panorama. Gap between Nax and Extreme. That gap is 14.2 seconds. So as for Extreme, probably not looking likely to move up any further. But it looks as though Mo is really on a charge here in the later stage and could really ruin the party for Extreme. On lap 37 of 34, so after this lap we have 4 laps to go. Our race leader Pat G, he's led every lap tonight. What's this lap time going to be for him? It's been very consistent, a 2:02.9. So even on older tyres and a damaged front right, he's still cracking fastest laps here in Pat G. Viper Z at 2:01.9. 7.3 seconds off the lead of Pat G, so could be an outside chance here, Viper Z. Gaining a lot of ground through the main straights here, up Mountain Straight. Pat G might be lacking a little bit of aero up on top of the mountain with that front right damage. So might have to let out the throttle just a little bit in comparison to what Viper Z would have to. It's going to make holding on to this car a whole lot harder for Pat G as we head down into the S's, into the dipper. He's kept it quite clean through there. But the gap is 6.7 seconds, so that's diminishing fast. So Pat G, he's going to have track position. But in the case Viper Z catches up to the rear bumper, I reckon Viper Z is just going to try a winner, I reckon. You see him in the background now, so he's extremely close. Down Conrod, 6.6 seconds away now. So here, from here on in, he needs to be 2 seconds quicker each lap than Pat G. It's Viper Z got enough in the tank to do so. And as for Nax, 10 seconds off the lead as well, but fastest lap P3. Wonderful recovery drive, so he'd be quite happy with the end result. So if Nax was in the scenario of Viper Z, I reckon Nax would really give Pat G a run for his money. Pat G really be biting his nails now. Does he have enough in the tank to get it home? In terms of race pace, not fuel numbers. He's got front right damage. Really be aero deficient down Conrod. See the gap starting to diminish once again. So 5.7 seconds is the gap between Pat G and Viper Z. We're about to enter the penultimate lap here at Mount Panorama. Extreme holding on to P4. Behind him is one of the Sonova Beach racing cars in Emo. Then we've got INSEE. Then we've got the championship leading team car, number 64 Sonova Beach racing car for Apex, driving the car tonight. And that team will come home as team's champion. Wouldn't be by much though over Extreme Motorsports number 23 car. So Pat G seems to gain a little bit of momentum on the previous 2 laps now. Penguin just over a lap down now. The understudy in P11. Go further up, we've got GT King in P10. We've got Saturn in P9. Could make a late charge into P8 if Max doesn't hold it together. We've got Apex in P7, INSEE in P6. We've got Emo rounding out your top 5. But as for Pat G, he's got 1.5 laps to go here at Mount Panorama. Gonna hold on quite comfortably here, Pat G, I reckon. But this is going to be the battle between Viper Z and Nax. This is going to be a final lap battle here. It's going to be a battle royale to the end. I reckon Nax, with the outright pace he's got, he's going to get past Viper Z. So Viper Z coming off in the pit lane. I'm not sure why. Pat G also come in the pit lane. So Nax out of nowhere takes the lead of this race. No, he doesn't. So Pat G, now he's under pressure from Nax. It's the racing mediums plays the racing softs. So Nax has the upper hand here. Can he make the most of it? So we've got a freeway battle to the end. Pat G holding on over Nax and it's 5% in P3. We head up the mountain now for the very last time. Can Nax make the ground on Pat G? Made a lot of ground under brakes at the cutting. There's going to be a one-line groove on the top of the mountain here. Next opportunity at the elbow. How much does Nax wants the race win here? It's going to be a bit of fight to the end between these two fierce rivals. Pat G trying to defend, heading into the S's here, down into the dipper. Nax is going to try look to make a move at the elbow, but Pat G is going to go held defensive on the inside. There you go. Nax going to be in the slipstream now, down Conrod. Surely should be able to launch right past Pat G. This is going to be a nail-biting move. Nax is going to do it before the end of Conrod. Is Pat G going to make a late dive at the end of the cutting? The correction, the end of the chase here. I'm getting my corners mixed up. Pat G trying to go for it. He doesn't have enough of it. Nax getting a little bit of too much inside curve. Now he has to go defensive, heading into Murray's. Pat G trying to get the better here. Pat G, there's not going to be enough in the tank to get him. So Nax comes out unlikely winner here at Mount Panorama for round 10 of the Supercars Next Generation Series hosted by RaceOnOz's. Pat G, 5% round that your top 3. Extreme for Extreme Motorsports will come home in P4, but that's not enough for a championship winning result for the team, and they'll come out second best in the championship title. But a valiant result to get P2 in the championship from P3 coming in. NC will round out your top 5. Then we got our championship winning car in Apex in P6. This is going to be a well celebrated championship win here. We got a formation finish between the two teammates, Apex and Mo, for Sonova Beach Racing. Those guys are really going to have huge celebrations tonight. Max coming home in P8, Saturn coming home in P9. We've got GT King coming home in P10, out of Murray's now. For Sonova Beach Racing. He'll be one of the guys really congratulating the team for the team result. The understudy coming home in P11, coming out of the elbow now. Then Penguin in P12, 1 lap down for Rookie Racing. Yeah, I did calculate the 9-point difference between Extreme Motorsports and the number 64 Sonova Beach Racing there, Eccles. So, yeah, I think you're right. I did that calculation earlier on. And actually, it might be a 10 or 11 because I based that on 4th and 7th. So there we go, there your unofficial results for the finale, round 10 of the Supercars Next Generation Series, and a really good race victory for Nax out of nowhere. A very good recovery drive, and he comes home victorious in the final round. So that has been round 10, the finale round of the Next Generation Supercars Series hosted by RaceOnOz's. I hope you enjoyed this installment, and I hope to see you in the next series. But from now and between then, stay safe, and I hope you have a good off-season here. So I'm Metamon signing out, and as for the victorious team, number 64 Sonova Beach Racing, those guys at the team will be celebrating hard tonight, getting a 9-point championship win from what we calculated earlier on. But well done, the Pat G coming home in P2, then Viper Z coming home in P3. So congratulations to every driver tonight. So I'll see you later and have a good one. Goodbye, guys.